I don't know if you've seen this video or not, but check it out.
Nietzsche said, "He who sees too much ends up not fitting in anywhere." That's the curse of awareness. Once you start seeing beneath the surface, the world doesn't seem that simple anymore. You start to see the games that people play, the fake confidence, the hidden motives, and you start to realize that society is just made up of a bunch of lies and that everybody's sheep. You can't unsee it. And then when you speak up, people say you're overthinking, you're delusional. That's not how it works. So you just stop talking. You start observing. And because of that, you stop belonging. Not because you're better than anybody else, but because you know what's going on. You see everything and you just can't be a part of it. Awareness isolates you, but that's the price of clarity. You might lose the crowd, but you'll find yourself.
What are your thoughts on that video? We've talked about this. I actually saw this video and I sent it to you.
Yeah. So what I took from it, first and foremost, is that when you start to see things for what they really are and you see people for who they really are, then you, if you say something about the observations that you make, then that automatically makes you a hater or that makes you negative. Mm-hmm. When you're not being negative. What you're doing is pointing out your observation. Mm-hmm. And I think one thing that people seem to forget about or people get wrong is that your opinion, your perception is just that. It is yours. It belongs to you. So nobody can tell you that, your opinion is wrong or your feelings are wrong or the way that you perceive something is wrong. They can say, "Oh, I didn't know you perceived it that way," or "I'm sorry that something I said made you perceive it that way." But it still doesn't change your perception. Your perception is what it is. Now, when it comes to not fitting in because of that, then it does become, "Oh, you're just a hater," or "You're just negative." When you're not negative, you're just observing what's behind the surface. Like, it's like playing politics, but with people. So it's that positivity, politics. Everything isn't always positive. Everything isn't always happy and rainbow and butterflies. And just because you see that and you point it out, that doesn't make you a negative person. That just means you're looking and thinking on a deeper level. But because we become so lazy in our thinking, I read an article the other day about how we don't teach critical thinking skills anymore. Mm-hmm. And then you sent me another video that was talking about how lazy we have become as readers, as orators, and protectors of speech. Because the internet has made us lazy. AI will write for you. AI will read for you, but it can't process for you. Mm-hmm. It can't think for you. And even if something is given to you verbally, it still doesn't make the necessary connections in your brain to comprehend it the way that person said it. And again, even what they said is their opinion, which is still not wrong. You can agree or not agree, but it still doesn't make their opinion or their perception wrong.
Yeah, I get all those things. I also, looking even further past that or into it, is that I don't think people want better anymore.
Why do you say that?
Because I feel like when you become aware, mm-hmm. and it kind of makes you an outcast. Mm. For regular people, it's like we've letting things getting so out of hand with the program we receive and this extra inflated egos and bravado and I'm this person or that person. A lot of folks feel like they can't be taught or corrected. So when a person that is aware, when you make a notice discovery, when you recognize something or because of your education, you are able to break down something for somebody, if it is opposite of what their programming already has, they can't be taught. They can't be corrected. You can't even inform people anymore because they already have their whole agenda at hand. Not even agenda is probably not the word. They have their own psychological makeup of what they may perceive to be right or wrong or good or bad, and you can't even offer an alternative way to think, because I've already collected this herd of people that think this certain way, and this is what we all think is correct. You can't even hear any other opposing view.
It's kind of like when Common has the line, if I don't like it, I don't like it. That don't mean that I'm hating.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same sense of, well, you know, and talking about Common, because I think in music, I think in song, remember when he put out the song, I Used to Love Her, which was his ode to hip hop, which ended up sparking a beef between him and Ice Cube and other, you know, quote unquote
Mac
gangster
10
rappers.
and WC.
Exactly. But once they sat down and had a conversation and Common was able to continue to explain what he meant in his song, then they were able to see, yeah, you are right, or I can see your point. But when we make our music, we're doing the same thing you're doing. You're making music about your perspective, perception, things that you've seen, things that you've done, things that have happened around you, and we're doing the same thing. And we're doing the same thing using our love for hip hop the same way you're doing it with your love of hip hop. That doesn't make yours wrong and ours right, and vice versa. It's a different way of looking at the same thing.
Yeah, which that leads me to this other video that I sent you where it talks about understanding people, like the space in between what you're saying and what they're perceiving.
Yes.
You know, it gets somehow mixed up or confused in there on the person's willingness to try to understand what you're saying.
I like that, the willingness to understand, because I don't think a lot of people exercise the willingness to understand. We're so ready to be combative, which goes back to what you always say about having a conversation. Most people that are having a conversation with you aren't listening to understand or to comprehend. They are readying their response in their head to what you're saying. Therefore, they can't listen and fully process what you're saying.
Right. And there's another reason why I hate typing, because typing and reading could really confuse what you're trying to get across. Is because you have to depend on this person that you're trying to get a message to. You have to depend on them having good reading comprehension. I much rather talk to somebody, because I think you can kind of hear the inflections, the tones, and maybe help them understand. But reading really gets messed up, especially because people don't just read anymore. They read posts or whatever, but a large population doesn't sit down and read, and which goes back to you. When you don't read a lot and write a lot, that it kind of alters your critical thinking skills.
Exactly. When you think about, I'll use myself as an example. I've been called many times the grammar police, but I'm an educator. So yes, I am judging your grammar in your Facebook post, and it makes me cringe a little bit, because we send our children to school to learn how to read, write, and do math. We don't teach those things to ourselves and to our children because we expect school to do that. So as an adult who has been through schooling, you got nothing out of your schooling if you continue to write the way you talk, or you write in ways that are not necessarily standard English, but just even spelling common simple words correctly. If that is how you feel, then why do you send your child to school? So if it doesn't matter if words are spelled correctly, if it doesn't matter how we talk and communicate with each other, then why do we send our children to school? Because we want them to be taught those things, right? So why aren't we using the things that we want our children to learn?
And that's a weird kind of question. It's a hard question, because I think a lot of people may not send their kids to school for those things that, we send our kids, because some people just send kids to school for a babysitter. That's why they expect the teacher to do everything. But then they don't have respect for the teacher. They don't see the teacher as a second parent, as a partner in this business of rendering this child to adulthood.
Okay, so we've talked about this and we've given our take. How do we fix it? How do we solve it? Is there solving it? Is it worth solving?
Of course, I think it's worth solving. Is it solvable? I don't know. I don't think that there are enough people willing to dial back on the way everything is structured now, from our education to our local and large government, country government. I don't think there are enough people willing to dial back and say, hey, this programming that's out there is bad. This education is not getting the job done. And I think there are enough people that think education is bad. But I don't think they go to the right people. Like, they never go to the teachers to figure out how to fix education. They always go to, like, somebody they're paying $250,000, just a business person, to say, how do you fix education on the business act? They never go to the teachers and figure out what really needs to be changed and done to make education work. But I don't think there are enough people collectively that want the world to change. I think we like pretending we want change, because everything is connected, from like education, the way the city is ran, the way the government is ran, and on a national scale, everything is connected. And I don't think that enough people collectively really want to change.
So what do you attribute that to?
I just think that our society is slipping away.
So one observation that I've thought about, and I've, kicked this idea around in my head for a while, is I understand that a lot of us are in survival mode. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to make it, pay bills, keep these children alive, stay out of jail, things like that. And so what happens is, what I see a lot in social media posts or even in conversation, I get told, I don't have time to worry about that. And so because I don't have time to worry about that, it then snowballs into, as a collective society, we don't have time to worry about that. So like decorum has gone out of the window. Mm-hmm. My grandmother would have never left her house in pajamas, ever. Every time I saw my grandma, even when she was just sitting around the house, she showered every day, she got up and she got dressed. Every single day. No matter if somebody was coming over that was gonna see her or not. And when she and Grandpa went out, they put it on. They stepped every single time they stepped. And my grandmother grew up in a time where that was established. And it didn't matter what your home environment looked like or what it was, because we all know who my great grandmother is. So we know how my grandmother actually grew up, and look at the woman that she was in spite of how she grew up.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that your grandmother and my mother are close in age, and they grew up in a time where people got dressed up to go to the park.
Yes.
There was a way that you went out and carried yourself. For example, like, I grew up cursing, but I don't curse in front of old people. I don't curse in front of kids. Now we have this whole thing, like, everybody curse. Kids curse, adults curse, play the music with all the cursing in front of at the family event. We have become overly niggified is the problem. And I don't think that there's enough people that don't want to be niggas. I think niggas is a beautiful thing. If you, just like in Bamboozle, you're talking about a movie that was made in the 90s. If you watch Bamboozle or Stepping Into April, different movies, but with the same concept,
right,
that prelimined that what we would be at today. Because now we're here. We're just like, the most niggerish stuff is the thing to do. It's the cool and absolute joy of life. You's a nigga, I'm a nigga. Wouldn't you like to be a nigga too?
So, but now, with that being said, people typically equate that to black people. And I want it to be clear that we're not just talking about people of color when we say, that kind of behavior, that lacks decorum, that lacks common sense, that lacks how I present myself to the world matters. How I speak, how I carry myself. We kind of lost that whole I represent somebody else when I walk out the door.
Yeah.
We really, as people, as a society, not just black, not white, not orange, green, we all have this whole who gonna check me mentality.
Yeah.
And because we have this who gonna check me mentality, we feel like we're above reproach. We're above being checked. And we are too sensitive when it comes to being told that we're wrong. And I get it. Being told you're wrong, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to admit that you're wrong. But I believe that as people, you gotta search yourself. At the end of the day, you have to take inventory of your day. From the start of your day until the end of your day, how did I represent myself, my culture, my values, my belief system when I presented myself to the world? Because you also have to think about, this might be the only time you run into this person. And what perception does that person leave with as a result of interacting with you?
Yeah, I think that would be great if people did that, but I think there's so much programming saying, F what everybody else thinks. Ain't nobody gonna tell me. Ain't nobody gonna tell me. And I do what I say, what I want to say. The fuck. It's like we don't have a mutual respect in other people's space and where they come from. We don't have a coming together and compromise,
like a collective societal norm.
Yeah,
which we used to have norms.
We used to, yeah, but I think that is, as time has gone, that's withering away.
Right.
And there's a majority that are saying we don't care about that. But if you don't care about those simple things, how can you care about bigger issues?
How can you be trusted with the bigger issue if this is the mindset that you're walking around with?
Well, you can't be trusted because you don't care about it, because you have to care about those smaller things to address the bigger things. And if you don't care about them, of course you shouldn't be trusted with it.
And that's the post.